Your Excellency, thank you for having us tonight. I hope you'll enjoy this debate. Honorable Chairman, wise members of the jury, precise timekeeper, disadvantaged members of the proposition, talented and dedicated members of the opposition, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. People often make the mistake of associating hard work and struggle, Hanadi. But my speech and my whole team will show you that there are two different things. But I'll talk about it later. First, I have a question for you all. Have you ever met someone who seems to have a harder time than the rest of us? Who always tries to make things more complicated than they need to be? Most of us know people like this. People who are always complaining, and who can't seem to find the right path towards progress. These people may be less talented, less visionary. They are often people like the proposition. My name is Gaëlle, and that is why we have come here tonight, to help the proposition realize that they can make progress without struggle. As a life coach, I have assembled a team of highly qualified experts to help the proposition realize that struggle is rarely necessary. There are better paths to progress. While we all know that progress means moving forward toward our goal, it's ridiculous to believe that struggle is needed to achieve it. It is fitting that struggle comes from the Old Norse root, meaning arrogance, ill will, spitefulness.
Point of information, ma'am?
Because these are traits that the members of the proposition will show tonight.
What about all of the greatest revolutions and progress in mankind history?
Well, but about them, they were about hard work and dedication, and about people being convinced that they could achieve great things. After all, everyone knows that struggle involves conflict. Thus, the operating word when defining this motion is the great big no before struggle, as in, without struggle, progress is not possible. Let me provide an example of how necessary struggle and negativity are to making progress. As a life coach, I sometimes do pro bono work in high schools. But where some fail, others succeed. Why and how? I am reminded of one student in particular. He was no poudre de perlimpinpin, no snake-oil salesman. He was the top student at his school. He managed to succeed in every subject. And how did he become the best student? He was gifted, but that alone didn't allow him to make progress. What made him successful was his rigor, dedication, motivation, enthusiasm, and his continuous open-mindedness. He had a great project, and unlike you, he listened to the advice of his teachers and of counselors such as myself.
Point of information, ma'am?
Yeah, please.
Why would you say that rigor is not struggle with yourself?
Well, I would not say that because rigor asks for disciplines every day, while struggle is actually not necessarily knowing what you are doing. So let's get back to my example. I wasn't the one that he married, but in the end, he and Brigitte finally moved into the Élysée Palace. People often associate hard work with struggle. Hard work, it means being dedicated every day. By being consistent, you can get results without struggling. What the misguided proposition doesn't understand is that progress may come from hard work, but hard work does not necessarily mean to struggle. As Mbock said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. You all know that dedication and hard work are two reliable paths to progress. NBA legend Michael Jordan spent his off-seasons taking hundreds of jump shots every day. Venus and Serena Williams were up hitting tennis balls at 6 a.m. in the morning from the time they were 7 and 8 years old. No, thank you. Pepsi CEO Indra Nooyi worked the graveyard shift from midnight to 5 a.m. as a receptionist while putting herself through Yale. Dedication and hard work, ladies and gentlemen. But these are not the only path one can take to progress. Let me introduce the other speakers who have come to help the proposition make progress without struggle. And help you understand that there are many, many better paths to progress. First, Steve Jobs, the very incarnation of efficiency and creativity, will provide you with two paths to move forward without struggle. Our second speaker is a very prestigious guest, the person that brought us all together tonight, the one and only. He will prove that cooperation and compromise are both better paths towards progress. Third, Mr. Fleming will describe how luck coupled with intelligence can lead to progress, which has undeniably helped humanity to avoid struggle. And finally, our whip has been invited from Telecom to remind you that if you embrace struggle, you are your own worst enemy. Passion and altruism are two additional paths you should consider taking. Dear members of the jury, please help us teach the proposition that struggle is rarely necessary. There are better paths to progress. Please reject this motion. Thank you.